Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever picked up a sacred book and just wondered, what's its real purpose? Beyond the stories and the rules, what is its core driving mission? Well, today we're diving into how the Quran answers that very question, right in the opening verses of a chapter called Ibrāhīm. It lays out its entire reason for being in one incredibly powerful statement.
So let's just start with that big question. What is the ultimate point of a book that's believed to be from God? What is it actually trying to do here on Earth?
And what's amazing is the text just lays it right out there, immediately and with total clarity. The mission is to bring mankind out of darknesses into the light. This one phrase, right here, is basically the key that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about. It tells you this isn't just a book of information, it's a book of transformation.
And what's so striking is where this mission statement shows up. It's not buried deep inside somewhere. It's right at the beginning. It's the very first thing you learn, and it sets the entire tone for everything that's about to come. Now, the chapter kicks off with these three letters from the Arabic alphabet: Aleph, Lam, Ra. These are known as the muqatta'at, or the disjointed letters. And here's the thing, their exact meaning is considered a divine secret. It's this powerful, attention-grabbing opening that kind of makes you lean in. It signals that what you're about to hear is sacred, and it invites this sense of humility and wonder right from the get-go. So let's break down that central metaphor. And you gotta notice the specific language here. The text uses the plural, darknesses, which suggests that things like misguidance, moral confusion, and polytheism, they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. But this is contrasted with the singular light, representing one clear path of guidance, one pure monotheism, and one source of moral clarity. So the mission is to lead people from all that scattered confusion into a single unifying truth. But, and this is so important, there's a condition. This whole journey from darkness into light, it only happens by permission of their Lord. That phrase is absolutely key. It frames guidance not as something that can be forced on people, but as a divine gift, as a form of grace. The message is an invitation, but the choice to actually accept it, well, that remains deeply personal. Okay, so if the mission is to get from darkness to light, what's the roadmap? How do you practically even start a journey like that? Well, the text gives us a powerful and surprisingly simple framework for it. And yeah, this is the most practical question of all, isn't it? We get the what, the mission is to find the light, but the text is just as focused on the how. What are the actual steps you need to take? So, the very first step involves understanding this critical concept, taghut. This word refers to any kind of false authority, basically anything that is blindly obeyed or even worshipped instead of the one true God. And sure, this could be a physical idol, but it can also be a deviant ideology, a corrupt system, or any false master that demands your ultimate loyalty. So here it is, this simple but incredibly profound two-part formula. The journey begins not just with belief, but with an active disbelief, a conscious turning away from all those false authorities, all the taghut. It's only after that rejection, that letting go, that you can fully and sincerely turn in belief to God. You have to let go of one thing in order to truly take hold of another. And the imagery used to describe the result of this, it's brilliant. The text says it's like grasping the most trustworthy handhold with no break in it. Just picture that. You're on a dangerous, treacherous path, and someone gives you a rope that is absolutely guaranteed never to fray, never to snap. That's the feeling of security, stability, and total reliability that this path of faith is said to offer. Then, the text draws this really stark contrast. On one side, you have the believer, who's holding tight to that unbreakable support. And on the other side, you have the denier. And we get this interesting insight into their mindset. It suggests that denial often comes from a choice, the choice to prioritize the immediate, fleeting pleasures of this life over the lasting truth of what comes next. This all leads to another critical point. What is the exact role of the person delivering this message? In this case, the Prophet Muhammad. If this whole journey is so personal, what is his specific job? The text could not be more explicit here. It says to him, "And you are not over them a manager." That is such a powerful statement about free will and accountability. The messenger is not a controller. He's not a micromanager of people's souls, and he can't force belief into anyone's heart. So, if he's not a manager, then what is he? His role really boils down to two main things. First, to deliver the message.
to call people to the path, clearly and openly. And second, to be an example, to actually live that message out. But the final outcome, the choice to accept or reject, that rests entirely with the individual and with God.
Now, just to really drive this point home, the text places this whole mission into a much bigger historical context. Because this isn't some new idea, it's a timeless one. The verses immediately connect this mission to the prophet Moses. He, too, was sent to his people with the exact same directive, bring out your people from darknesses into the light. This shows a continuity, this recurring divine pattern all throughout history. The mission is universal.
Part of this universal mission is to remind people of the days of Allah. I mean, what a beautiful phrase, right? It refers to those key moments in history, times of divine favor or deliverance or intervention. Talking about these stories isn't just a history lesson, it's a way to build faith by remembering God's presence and action in the world.
So, who is most likely to actually benefit from these reminders and see the signs for what they are? The text points to two specific qualities: patience and gratitude. In Arabic, that's sabar and shakur. The idea is that a heart that's been softened by patience through tough times, and a heart that's filled with gratitude for its blessings, that's the heart that's most prepared to recognize the truth when it sees it.
And that really brings us to our final thought for today. This ancient text is suggesting that some truths aren't just seen with our eyes, but are perceived through the state of our hearts, through specific virtues. And it leaves us with this profound question for our own lives. What truths, what realities only become visible to us when we make an effort to practice patience and gratitude?